Hey, it's Aaron from GameEnthus.com, and today I'm taking a look at a prototype of Thalara, The Last Artifacts from Alexander Wrede. Thalara, The Last Artifacts is a area majority / influence hand management game. Trying to earn victory points. The premise is there's magic in the world and someone's taking it and it's being drawn away from the land, and you're trying to get as much of it to retain the power that you have for, I would only assume the most altruistic intentions. Let's just assume that. So it can be played from 2 to 4 players. I'm going to focus on the 2-player gameplay in this video, but as you can see in these wildly differently colored decks, they emphasize the word wildly. I played with my wife and she thought that it looked like paint samples. You know how you go to the store and which one do you want? Anyway, I kid, but I don't. Where does this go? Okay, if my understanding is correct, Alexander Wrede intends on there being many different characters to play. This prototype came with 6 different characters to play, who all can cast different spells. Some of the characters are a little more advanced, like Melina, Mistress of Shadows. She has a lot of cards. Like, she has her regular spell cards, as you can see, and then she has shadow trap cards. I'm going to pull a Rodney Smith and say that I'll let you discover that on your own. Inez, Druid of Zin, is another one of the more advanced characters as well. The intention is to have, I think, about 10 to 12 different characters, but right now I'll just focus on 2 and show some of the 2-player gameplay. So the cards in question, well, first of all, they're upside down. This might help. The cards in question are called artifact cards. That's where the power is. You see they have the large sphere in the center, and they have numbers in all the corners. The numbers indicate the strength of the card. So for artifact cards, their strength is either 0, 1, or 2. 0 through 3. 3 is the highest. What's more important is the actual small star gems on them. These are the actual victory points that you're trying to earn. So a card with no strength has essentially 3 points. A card with 1 strength has 2 points. A card with 2 strength has 1 point, and so on and so forth. The decks that you'll be using are called remnant cards. So these look a little bit different. They're like a scroll, some kind of a tree, some moon logo, Todd has come today, and then like lightning, sunlight, like some heavenly light right there. And these go from 1 to 5. The characters I'll be using are Kandran, leader of the Albaran. As you can see, he's been, I don't know, working out or getting punched while he's working out or something. He's into some stuff. A lot of his cards and spells are about maximizing a certain color. So for every yellow energy, all the conflicts have 1 strength. For every blue energy, all the conflicts have 3 strength, things like that. You'll understand how that goes in a second. And then I'm going to also use Canto the Bar Singer. See, this card is a low cost. The cost is in the corner here to actually play a spell. And each of your energy cards with a unique color have +1 strength. This one costs the orangish reddish card and a green. Any player that does not have green energy, a green energy card in this conflict, has -5 strength. 2-player game, you would shuffle up your hands. You could also shuffle up the artifact deck here, put it to the side, and you would put out 3 cards. From the artifact deck, you're going to put out 3 cards in a 2-player game. In a 3-player game, you put out 4. In a 4-player game, you put out 5. For your first game, the designer recommends that you just try 2 spells. I'll just put out all 4 just so you can see them. So in the center here, you have the artifact cards, a 3 strength worth 1 point, 0 strength worth 3, and a 2 also worth 1. you're vying to get the most points in each one of these columns. These are called conflicts. So this is a conflict, this is a conflict, this is a conflict. And you're trying to put out enough energy so that you can win the cards. So with the one in the center being worth 3, that's probably gonna be the one that you're gonna wanna go for the most. So what you're balancing is you're trying to use the spells you have with the cards you have. So right now I say I have purple, I'll just say red, and then blue. So looking at my spells, the only spells I can use this round would be the energy barrier, which is no more energy cards can be played in this conflict. This is pretty powerful. So were I to start off like that with a purple, then my opponent probably see that and want to get that 3, would probably play this 4. So they're gonna play that 4, and then I'll play my other purple. So now I have 6 here, they have 4, and also keep in mind what they have. So they have blue, purple, red, and yellow. So this person could play Cord, which is each of your energy cards with a unique color have +1 strength. So were you to get potentially 4 different colors in a particular conflict, you would get 4 additional points at the end of the round in that conflict. The rules also stipulate that just because a card is played in a certain conflict doesn't necessarily mean it's affecting that conflict. It can affect any conflict, just one, or based on what it says you can do, but for the most part, just one. So I could also do Harmony, which is you gain +2 strength in each conflict where you have at least 2 energy cores of the same color. So essentially you'd have to have at least 3 cards in that conflict, because you have to have the yellow and you have to have the purple to make that happen. And then I could also play Silence, which is you gain +3 strength in each conflict where you have no energy cards. That is interesting. That means you could leave these blank and have 3 strength for them towards winning without even putting a card there, which is kind of nuts when you think about it. This person would probably want to put down this 5, because now they have 9 in this conflict vying for this card. And they also have activated this spell. So because they have blue and yellow, it doesn't matter what the order, as long as the cards are in the conflict. You gain +3 strength in each conflict where you have no energy. So I can play that spell, and now both of these, if I don't put anything in them, will have 3. I also could have played Energy Barrier here because I have the 2 purples, and this means that no other conflict cards can be played in this conflict. I don't want to do that just yet, because that means nobody can play anything. So I want to top this score and then do it. Also, spell cards are worth 1 strength, no matter what. I mean, they're always worth 1. So this is 10 essentially. This is still 6. So I'm still trying to get this one. So I'd probably play the 3. They would probably play that 3. That's 13. I'm at 9. So I play that. Well, based on the actual cards the player has, they have 2, 3. Yeah. So let's say they just played this one. For sake of argument, let's just, given that there's 2 3s and a 2 here, let's say they just played that one thinking they had it on lock. They're good to go. Then here I come and do that. Now, if they pass, they're done this round. Let's say they feel like they got it, they're good. They feel like nobody's going to top them. The other player has no chance. They're good. They're not going to put anything here because that would negate the spell that automatically puts 3 here. So right now, because I put nothing here, they're going to get 2 anyway. Let's say I kept going and put all the rest of my cards here. I wanted to show this spell, but it just didn't make sense given the scenario, but you did see how this one worked. Once again, this is Silence. So once all your cards are gone or both players pass, because you don't have to go, you would then tally up. This is 9, 11, 13, 14. So they got 15 on this side. Let's see what they got. It's 9, 10, 14. So we have 15 and we got 14 over here. So the spell will go back to their spell pool. Spell's going to be played once per round. So actually, this side did win. So what happens is they would get this artifact card. The cards, all the remnant cards they played would get discarded. Same here, these are out of the game now. As with these, I didn't play them. This player over here also earned these two. Here's the rub. Now that, hey, they have 2 points, I essentially have 3, but they have 2 cards. Here's the trade-off though. Your max hand size is 7. So any remnant card you get take up a spot. The thing is, this is worth a lot at the end of the game, worth 3, but it has 0 strength. It does nothing for me points-wise in the conflicts going forward, but it can also be used to cast spells. So if you want to cast a spell with yellow in it or what have you, it's still worse for casting spells. It just offers no strength with which to win conflicts. So going forward, I will get 6 cards, and this becomes my 7th. And this is my new hand. This player has 2 artifact cards, so they're going to get 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going to have 5 additional cards. And that's how the game goes. The artifact cards take up space. They don't max out quite as powerful as the other cards, but they still can be used for casting spells. So it's like the better you do, which is the goal, we want to get points. So it's like the better you do, the less space you have potentially for the higher strength value card. So it's a nice little trade-off. And that's how the game plays. So you're going to go back and forth. You put out another set of 3 cards that you're trying to win conflicts to get the points for, all the while casting spells in order to tip things to going your way. The game ends when someone can no longer draw up to 7 cards from their respective decks into their hand, or once someone has 7 artifact cards in their hand, the game is over. Once you have a full hand of artifact cards, that triggers it. The game is done. And then you count up how many points you have on all of your artifact cards and see if you win the game. And that's an overview of how Thalara plays. It's pretty quick. It's very tactical when you play with 2 players. 3 or 4 players seems it will be a little more unpredictable. I think that's by design, to be unpredictable when you're playing with more players. Pretty much how the game goes. It's very tight. The tension is there. You're trying to, you want to cast these spells to get things going your way, but you're hoping that, your opponent doesn't pull out a 5 or something like that. If you think you are into pretty quick-paced card game from 2 to 4 players, casting spells, differentiating colors, Thalara is on Kickstarter right now.